this team has now put together. You're talking about an Iowa State program that's been 33-1 at home over the last 2 years. The Cougars beat West Virginia. They beat Arizona State. They won at Arizona. They beat Kansas. They beat Kansas State. They beat West Virginia. This is now, it's long heave at the horn. This is now a BYU program that has won 7 in a row and just took down Iowa State 88-85. The Cyclones. That's the first win for BYU in Ames. And the Cyclones just dropped their second home game in the last 2 years. Only 2 home losses. Matt McCall, Kevin Young, and the BYU Cougars been hovering around that 8-9 line. They look far more dangerous than that.
Oof, can you imagine if you're a 1 seed and they're an 8 seed and you see them in the second round of the NCAA tournament?
Oh, my God.
Can you imagine? Like, you're like, what kind of draw did we get in this field? We're a number 1 seed, and we have to play this dangerous team with how they play on the offensive end of the floor. I just, look, for them to be able to go in there in that environment, and Fanta, you just alluded to it, Iowa State doesn't lose at home. They never lose at home. This is a tribute to that team. This is a tribute to BYU. Like, credit to them. I mean, they're a way higher seed than an 8-9. I mean, even if they get up to a 6, that is not a team you want to see. They played tonight, especially like a second weekend team in the NCAA tournament.
Goodman.
Yeah, this win will definitely get them off that 8-9 line, and could get them in position where they're, again, Mississippi State was on our 7 line. Certainly gets them on that 7 line with a win at Hilton. I mean, how many people? Not a lot of people win at Hilton. So,
No.
what I think Kevin Young has done here, right? Not having to rely on their talented freshmen. Igor Demon has been really good most of the year, but what's gone under the radar here is Richie Saunders and Dallin Hall, and what they've been able to do for this program is guys that he retained, right? He needed to retain a couple guys that have been in this program, that knew the culture, that knew, again, Mark Pope did a great job last year of really, shocking a lot of people with what they were able to do in the regular season in the Big 12. And to follow up on that, when it looked like, really, I mean, think about this. It looked like in mid to late January, they were going to be a team that wasn't going to be playing in the NCAA tournament. And now you're talking about a team that could be on the 6th line, and a guy that, again, was a little risky of a hire. They don't have a huge pool at BYU. Remember, they got to go the Mormon route. So there's not a lot of guys they can hire. So what did they do? They plucked a guy that was in the NBA, that was close to getting a head job in the NBA. They convinced him to go to BYU. There's incredible support. Now you've got this momentum, and you're going to bring in the number 1 or 2 player in the country, and A.J. DeMonta next year. This program is headed in the right direction. They got a ton of momentum, and Danny Ainge is celebrating right now somewhere.
Yeah, like, think about it, Jeff. They could finish second in the Big 12. Like, they could finish second. 1 game to play. They could finish second. I mean, like you just said, like, this was a hire. You're kind of scratching your head. How's this going to work? Is he coming in? Now they get the number 1 player in the country coming in. They could finish second. I mean, that's amazing in year 1.
Yeah, I mean, they're now 13-6 in the league, and they're going to host Utah this weekend, so they should be 14-6. This is a remarkable story, Tyler Hansbrough. The BYU Cougars, the transition to the Big 12 is not an easy one, and yet, after last year, they came on and they figured out a way in the tournament, but they lost to Duquesne in the first round. Now Coach Young looks like in his first year at the helm, I mean, he's got a top 20 team. He's got a team, Tyler Hansbrough, that's as hot as anybody in America right now. They've won 7 in a row.
Yeah, and they have an explosive team that teams have to take serious. They have guys that can come in. The Dallin Hall kid, they retained him. That was big. They have guys that can light it up. And also, you talked about the transfer to the Big 12. Well, also Houston did the same thing. So a couple of the schools that are new to the Big 12 are dominating it right now, and they're at the top of the Big 12. So it's very impressive. We had BYU on here last year. We interviewed Mark Pope after they won at Lawrence. So they're capable of big things.